Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Devon Rex for Art here, and today we're going to work on week 4 of the Birgit Koopsen Gelprinting Challenge.
To start, so we have brush from the Toolbox, fabric, bubble wrap, cardboard, straws, and paper. So that's 7 prompts. What I thought I would take inspiration from this week is the rainbow. So at the end, we're going to have a set of prints. I'm thinking of using my 5x7 plate. We'll have a set of prints. We'll collage together somehow, throw on a focal point, maybe some words. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. So we're going to start with red. I'm not doing the prompts in order. I'm going to go in color order that I've chosen the prompts to go with. So we're going to start with red. So I don't know about you, but the way I remember the rainbow order is Roy G. Biv, and I don't know if that was from Sesame Street.
So we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet.
And I'm going to pull all my prints just using regular plain old copy paper on the 5x7 plate. So the first one we're going to do red. So for red, I'm actually going to do prompt 25, which is bubble wrap. And the reason I'm using this for red is that I have this cool heart-shaped bubble wrap that my YouTube friend Zandra Scraps to Beauty sent me. And it's really cool on the Gellipplate. And for all the prints, I'm thinking I'm using different acrylic paints, a combination of matte and color shift or shiny. That's the plan. All right, so let's do the first print. So for all of the prints, I'm going to start off with black as my base, and then I'm going to use my prompts to make an imprint and then pull with the color. So I just want a fairly thin coat of black. And we're gonna smush that in. We want enough paint off so that we get lots of red showing through.
So I decided to brayer off some of the black to make it more red, but then I just really lose contrast.
This is Arteza Fiery Red, iridescent color. And here is just some Liquitex basics. I've talked about this red before, the cadmium red medium hue. I like it a lot.
I use my small brayer to spread that out randomly to get sort of a mixture. I put on the copy paper and pull it off, and I'm not happy. What I was really going for was a bright red. So I decided to make the prints more of a horizontal nature, which works out well because in the end I make a little book. I ended up being much happier with this second print.
Okay, so that's dry. For take 2, I'm going to use the first one looks a little bit too pinky, so I'm going to use mostly this red. I'm going to put quite a bit on there, and then we'll just put just a hint of this iridescent one. And I'm actually going to spread the red out first, and then grab some of that iridescent to go in it. And I like this print, the imprint of the black, a lot better. It's a much deeper color. And I'm going to just go for that, even though there's a few little streaks in there. And that reminds me that it's always good. Ooh, I went too far. It's always good to warm up your Gellipplate, like do a few just pulls on it to kind of activate it, get it going. Yeah, so we're gonna let that adhere, and then we'll pull that in just a minute. And the other thing is, because I had so much paint on there, I had more than I usually use because I wanted that red to be really vibrant. I was worried about pulling off too much. So it did wrinkle a little bit more than that first one, but I don't mind because look at how vibrant that is. So I'm really happy that I redid that print. So that's kind of the look I'm going for, really, really bright and punchy. Yeah, sometimes you have to do a few extra things to get what you're looking for. So next we have orange. So for orange, I'm going to use this metallic orange, which I really love this one. And I'm just going to use this cheap vermilion to add a bit of depth to it, I hope. I haven't used this before. So for orange, what I've decided to do is the prompt 23 from the Toolbox. So I went to the garage and I raided the Toolbox. I found a few of these wrenches. I don't think I might use that on the edge, just carefully. You don't want to like dig into your jelly plate, obviously. I think this is a washer spacer and it's nice and rounded. We'll use that. I took a big washer and I glued it to the back of a lid so that I have something to grab. A Allen key. And then I had some smaller washers and I just glued those with some Aleene's tacky to a piece of cardboard. And those are some other type of washer. I just glued those as well. And then this was in the bin too. I don't really know what it's for, but anyhow, so we're going to use those. Now, that's a lot to use on this little surface. So let's see what we end up using. So again, I'm going to start with the black. And we want enough to give contrast, but not so much that when we put our items, we don't pick up all the paint. That's the tricky part. Let's cover that. So that feels pretty good. It's covered. I don't think it's too thick. We shall see. So I'm gonna just kind of, I want to stamp off on something. I wanted it a bit more, there we go. I wanted like a bit more coming off. So it looks like I have to almost put it twice to get what I'm looking for. And I do want it somewhat random looking. Woo! That's kind of cool. Let's do, I should have had some sort of handle for this thingamajig. Let's try those. So as this paint is drying, it is coming off a bit more. Let's try this one. Just do the little side. I haven't done this yet. And you do, it's nice to have threes or odd numbers. That's kind of cool. Do one more. Sorry, Lucy's barking. We're having some work done in the back and they're just coming around to the front now. So it's a bit noisy and she's not liking that. So that looks cool. I'm happy with that. I'm going to let the black dry. I'm just wondering, I might want just a little hint of texture. Like I don't want too much black. So we'll just kind of go in with the other end of this thing. I noticed it's interesting how it doesn't look hollow, but it must be sort of raised. course I'm overdoing it. Of course I would. It's just so fun. Oh. Okay. Okay, there, I'm stopping. So I'm gonna let that dry while I clean off these tools before, some of them I'm gonna throw back in the toolbox. Some are gonna obviously stay with my craft section. So that's dry. Let's put on our paint. I do find this is a nice strong color. So let's, oh, see, I haven't even opened that yet. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this here and there just to help it be more, a little bit of a darker orange. But this metallic orange is very nice. Oop, bloop. So it's probably too much paint for a small plate like this, but I want to make sure I have enough. And I'm gonna just roll that there. Kind of want it random. Ooh, see, now I'm getting a bit too much off. All right, let's just do it. I hope I don't have to do every print twice, but it is what it is. I want it to be that strong. I don't know if you can see that orange over here. Right, for the reveal. And if it gets too loud, I might do a voiceover. So there we have our orange. And I like that. Okay, so that's good. That's orange. You can see that. The next on the color is yellow. For yellow, I was going to do fabric. So what I did is I took just a lens cloth like this, nice and soft, and I just wrapped it. I did a few practice ones of this one because I wasn't sure if it was going to work. So I just kind of rolled it to make like a kind of like a rose shape. And I practiced with that and it kind of smushed as I was practicing. So that's what we're going to use for yellow. Again, we're going to start with the black. That seems pretty dry. I don't know if I mentioned, but fabric is prompt number 24. So we did red, orange, so this is going to be yellow. So let's do yellow. And for that, I'm just using a craft paint and Arteza Dreamy Yellow Iridescent. And this is a really nice shiny yellow. Because I like this yellow quite a bit, I'm going to put quite a bit on, and it's probably too much paint again, but I'm going to brayer it off to the side here. And just maybe I'll move that over a bit. Let's put that yellow, and we'll just kind of try to be, like I said, random. It's just a couple minutes later. Let's pull that up. Here it's sticking. It's not quite attached yet. Let's check the other side. Pretty good. Right here, I think my paint was a bit thick. That's okay because I'm happy with how that turned out. And it's very subtle, like the two different yellows, it's very subtle, but it just helps break it up enough so that it's not too boring. And if you look carefully, you can see the texture from the fabric itself. All right, so I'm gonna actually clean this off because like I said, I want each color to be pure. I don't want any crusty yellow bits appearing on the next one, which is going to be green. greens next. So for green, I'm gonna use prompt 22, which is brush. What I decided to do was to use this little, it's like a little cleaning or a little mushroom brush, and I'm just gonna make imprints that way. I'm going to use the green Flash Color Shift and the Liquitex Phthalocyanine Green. You can see where the brayer started picking up the color right there. It's not bad. I like this section better than this section. So let's do a do-over. I think we can do better than that. I think it was, it's a bit too dark. I want more green, less black. And it's good for you to see, like, you know, a lot of times, me included, will edit out things that don't work, but it's okay to show that things don't always work, you know, the first time. All right, so there we go. Let's try that again. Take 2. I think this is going to work better. I think I had maybe a bit too much black on the last time. Here I definitely see more space showing, which is more what I envisioned. And it's not, I'm not gonna, you know, throw that other print in the garbage. It'll get used somewhere, somehow, I'm sure. So I don't hate it, it's just not what I wanted. All right, so let's let that dry and then we'll pull that one up. And you can see here, I don't know if you can tell, but at the beginning, definitely more black space than it is here. So I'm actually going to go in and just kind of enhance that a little bit. The first set, maybe that's what I didn't like about the first print, is where it started, there's maybe too much black. So that feels more uniform to me. All right. Let's let that dry. Okay, so I let this dry. I think the other reason this started peeling off is I think the black was still a little bit tacky. So I let it dry even a little bit more. Often I will use my black craft paint, which is thinner and it dries really quickly. But for this, I wanted a nice even black, so I'm using this, but it does take a little bit longer to dry. So that could be part of the problem. The other change I'm going to make is I really like where that light green shows. So I'm going to use a little bit more of the green color shift. Okay, let's reveal, and I'm just going to mark off that we did green. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, so that's the brightness I was going for. That was just a bit too black. But like I said, it'll have its spot. I'll use it somewhere else, but this is more what I wanted. So I'm happy with that. All right, next on our list, blue. So for blue, the prompt we're going to use is number 28, paper. I'm going to use a technique I saw at PM Artist Studios. And what Patricia did is she crumpled up some paper. So I'm going to just mute here because it's going to be loud. So the idea is when you put this down, you're going to get a crackle texture. So I haven't tried this before. I don't know if this is the right thickness of paper to use. We'll try it. If this doesn't work, I might do it with some tracing paper, might be a little bit better. So let's give it a go. So don't be afraid to try new things, right? let's do, so I think that's way too much black. I'm gonna, oh, I didn't mean to put it on there, but that's okay. I'm used to using my 8x10 plate, so lately when I use my 5x7, I find myself putting on, way too much paint. Okay, that feels a little bit less. So I'm just going to just tap this down lightly. Let's see. Okay, a little bit more. I think I want more crackle. I want more blue than black. So I don't know if that's so much of a crackle as marbly. So let's let that dry and we'll pick it up, and then I might do it one more time with tracing paper to see if we can get more fine crackles. Okay, so this is pretty dry. This is a blue-green iridescent, but it's mostly blue. So I'm going to use that with this brilliant blue. I haven't used these two colors together before, so I'm interested to see how they're going to look, especially since I think I will be redoing this one. With a finer crackle. So let's get this small, get some of this iridescent on there. And I'm using way too much paint. Good thing I have a roll-off sheet plan. I'm going to use that in something. Okay, let's use this bigger one. Hope this doesn't have any. Pulled off there. All right. My big roller seems to be sticky today. So sometimes there's factors that you can't control, like some days just the way the humidity is. You just have to adjust how you do things. So let that dry. Okay, let's pull that off and see. There we go. So it does look pretty cool. Let's try that one more time. I took some tracing paper and I squished up a lot while that print was drying. So I'm hoping that's going to give us fine crackles. So let's do the black. Let's not use so much. So here's my tracing paper, and I'm just going to press it down. I'm pressing it quite firmly. I'm rubbing it a little bit more than the first one. So I think with this technique, it just depends like what effect you're going for. So there, so that's a bit finer. Okay, so I was thinking this is blue. We still have indigo to go, which is a darker blue to me. So I might change up my colors. Instead of using this, I'm going to use more of this teal color. And I want a lot of this. Whoa! Did you hear that? That was the paint. It wasn't me. It was the paint. Okay, let's use a little bit of that. I'm just going to go ahead and use my big roller because I find that it's been catching if I'm using it kind of after. So this way it gets more, a little paint booger there. See, I didn't want to take that much off. Oh well. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. I really don't want to do this one 3 times. Let's see. All right, let's let that dry. Let's see what we got. So this one's definitely bluer, like a baby blue. So that's pretty too. So like I said, I don't know what the final collage is going to be. So here we do have some options. So that was using prompt 28 paper. Okay, so for Indigo, we're going to use prompt 26, which is cardboard. I took these packing cardboards. When you buy furniture, sometimes it has more, you know, thicker corrugated. And I thought we could use the end like that. The other thought I had was I removed this paper backing here, and underneath that was an interesting honeycomb shape. So I thought that would look cool. And when I did this one, I thought it would be honeycomb, but it wasn't. It was more of a diamond shape. So we're going to use those with Indigo. This is going to be very dark, and with the Indigo, it's already going to be dark. So I'm just gonna kind of double up on some of these marks so that we have enough of the color showing through. And like I said, it's going to be a dark color. All right, let's let that dry. So for Indigo, I'm going to use this fluid Indigo, which is a really nice, rich, dark blue, but it's too fluid for the jelly plate, like to do on its own. So I'm going to mix it with this Plaid FX Mutant Shift, which has a bit of a purple shift to it, but I'm hoping it's going to look more blue if I put enough of that Indigo in there. And this is quite thick. So I'm going to just put some of this blue on here first, because it's a nice, like I said, a nice rich deep blue. And there's some still on the tip there. And then we're going to take some of this Mutant Shift here, which is almost like a purple. And then we're gonna just mix that all together. And hopefully we get a nice indigo, essence of indigo. Uh-oh, it's peeling off again. All right, let's pull that up. Okay, let's pull that up. Ooh, I like it. So I don't feel it's too purpley. I feel it's pretty cool, indigo looking, mostly. I like that one. And I even like the roll off is a cool indigo, almost looks like jeans, faded jeans. So that's it. Like I said, I'm keeping all my roll-off papers. Next is violet. So for violet, we're doing prompt 27, which is straws. So I don't have a lot of straws. I had just a couple of these big ones here. I'm going to try just kind of rolling, pressing, and dotting. So that's pretty dry, I think, and I'm going to use, for violet, I'm going to use this dioxazine purple. I just bought a new tube. This Color Shift Purple Flash. I love that color. And I might add a splash of this quinacridone magenta. I just bought this one. looks. So this is the violet. So even though it's a lot of black, I think I'm happy enough with that. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go take Lucy for a walk and I'll come back and we'll do some sort of collage or project with these papers to finish up. Here's what I made with my papers from this week's challenge. I made a little glue book inspired by Nicole Relax.cut.glue. I'll link her below. And I was inspired to make some Snark collages by Janet Merle Young. I'll link her below as well. So I just took each of the little 5x7s, I cut it down slightly less than 5x7, and I glued them together back to back to make this little journal. I got these images from this book called Retro Americana Ephemera Collection. I don't really recommend this book. It doesn't have that many images. It's okay, and some of the images are duplicates, so I'm using it up, but I don't think I would make a recommendation on that unless you really like the images as I just flip through them. So I cut out color coordinating images and I looked up some Snark from Instagram, mostly from Rebel Circus quotes. The last page is my own quote. So I'll just go through them quickly. So this first one is, did you know that if you put your ear up to a stranger's leg, you can hear them saying, WTF are you doing? And here, this car was actually yellow, so I used some alcohol markers to make it more of an orange. And this one says, as the world gets crazier, the nuts get harder to find. So I thought that went well with the background. Here we have, the officer said, you're staggering. I said, you're quite handsome yourself. We just laughed and laughed. Now I need bail money. I need a leaf blower, but for people. They didn't look too happy to me. And never make the same mistake twice unless they're hot. The other thing I did is I did go around the edges where it wasn't quite even. I went around the edges with my black Posca, just like kind of like that, just to fill in any white spaces. And here we have, remember, as far as anyone knows, we're a nice, normal family. I just thought it was funny that they all had matching swimsuits on. My boys would not like that. Lastly, I only had this tiny image, so I wanted to add a bit more to this page. So I added a manta ray from this sticker book. And I glued him, even though he's a sticker, I still used glue to glue him down. And this one says, Harvey was too busy mansplaining to notice the imminent danger. So that's my little book. I decorated it with some washi tape. I did some lettering just using these Jelly Roll Moon Glow pens. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed week 4 of Birgit Koopsen's Gel Printing Challenge. So for the last 3 days of Birgit Koopsen's challenge, I have an idea brewing in my brain, so we'll see how that works out. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and all those YouTubey things. Bye, everybody.